top 5 British niche fragrances. Up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. As you can see here at Osme Perfumery, and it's another beautiful day. And I'm continuing in my series of picking different countries and doing top 5, top 10s. I kind of like the top 5. I think a lot of you guys too. I've noticed actually that my top 5 videos seem to get a little bit more interaction and actually do better here on YouTube than a lot of the top 10s. I think maybe because you guys like me are busy and you don't necessarily want to hear, you know, a huge list of things. I think top 5 actually is perfect, so I'm going to continue with that today. Let's get right into this. Top 5 niche fragrances that I just absolutely adore, and they're going to be from 4 different British niche houses. So let's get right into this. Number 5, and I have this right behind me here on the table, you can see. This is from Oud-Floris, London. And this is Honey Oud. This is, if you like gourmand fragrances, and Oud-Floris London is, you know, kind of that traditional British house that is just, you know, known for classic British fragrance. And that's what, the reason why I'm picking this one is because it's gourmand, and they don't typically do gourmand fragrances, but this one is a beautiful honey, vanilla, oud gourmand. Just, ooh, the air conditioning blew it away there. Let's do it one more time. Just, you know, if you like that kind of sweet gourmand, but not too cloyish and not too sweet, and you love oud, this is a wonderful fragrance. I would say it's a lighter oud for those of you who are afraid of oud or maybe looking to get into oud. This would be a good beginner oud fragrance. By the way, 100 milliliter bottle retails for $235. There you go. So you can guys see it, Honey Oud. Next, coming in at number 4 is Iceni. This is Iceni from Iceni-Boadicea the Victorious. Look at that bottle. Let me turn it around so you guys can see the back. These are such beautiful bottles. This is a really nice, just classic British fragrance. Oops. Ooh, it sprayed right back into me from the air conditioning. What I really like about this one is it's got myrrh. Myrrh is one of my favorite just fragrance notes. It's got vanilla, it's got sandalwood, and it's also got a vetiver base. This just comes across, reminds me of something very old school, very classic, almost like an old building or an old book that you would open, like with, you know, leather-bound, beautiful book in maybe a library. This has that kind of old school vibe to it. And what's good is, a lot of Boadiceas can be kind of expensive. This one is 100 milliliters for $285. So a lot of Boadiceas, some are even over $1,000, $800, $700. This is a good one if you're looking to get into this house, which is one of the best niche houses. Then I would try getting your nose on this, good entry level for them. All right. Next, and I'm coming back to the second one from Oud-Floris. By the way, I love Oud-Floris. I could have picked a lot of them. There's 1989, there's Elite, which is one of my favorite kind of green barbershop fresh fragrances, but I've talked about this before. So this one I'm going with 1988. 1988, well, this is my graduation year from high school. Not to make me sound old, but that's why I really kind of love this one and I always come back to this fragrance. 1988. This is a kind of, it opens with a really nice green note. Then it goes into this kind of grapefruit, cassis, top to mid area, and it's got a nice amber dry down, which I love. Amber is one of my favorite base notes, so I'm always drawn to that. Very clean, very fresh, very good summer fragrance actually. Very traditional again, British. All these have that kind of British DNA. There's just something about the British. By the way, speaking of British, obviously I have my jacket on today, but how do you like the ascot? I wore my ascot especially because this is the top 5 British niche fragrances. But there you have it. By the way, price on that one, $190. So this is cheaper than the Honey Oud. $190 for 100 mLs. Check it out. Very well priced for an excellent fragrance. All right, coming in number 2. This is maybe a little bit of a surprise. And this is Vetiver from the Parfum Cologne collection. This is an Eau de Parfum, but it's from the Parfum Cologne collection from Roja Dove that came out, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. It is, so it's still an EDP, but the cologne style fragrance, which means it's lighter at the top, a little more citrusy. And look, for those of you who saw my top 10 French niche houses, I included Roja Dove in that just because for me, he personifies French perfumery because, again, he was the head of Guerlain for so many years as the in-house perfumer, Guerlain being maybe the most famous French house of all time. But Roja Dove is British. So ultimately, he's British. He could be kind of French-British. He is British. So that's why he's number 2 here. Vetiver is, the reason why I picked this one over, say, maybe Elysium or Creation E or Danger or, say, a Midsummer's Dream, which is another great one. I picked this one because this is a beautiful green vetiver fragrance. Perfect, again, nice summer fragrance because of this citrusy style cologne. And the really interesting fact about this one is the vetiver. If you are a hardcore vetiver fan, which many of us are, this is a great fragrance for you and you're gonna love it. But if you're just someone who's getting into vetiver, this is also a great fragrance. The reason why, if you ever know or if you've ever seen the vetiver root or plant, and by the way, the best vetiver in the world comes from Haiti, which is just, you know, a few hundred miles from Miami in South Florida in the Caribbean. So vetiver, very popular here. But vetiver is typically a root that goes under the ground, and that's where most vetiver-based fragrances get their vetiver. It's very pungent, very strong. This uses that, but what most of the vetiver from this fragrance comes from is actually the leafy part of the plant that grows above the ground. So it gives it a lighter, more fresh, more green element. So those of you who are looking to try maybe Roja Dove or looking to try vetiver, I cannot recommend this one enough. And by the way, 100 milliliters is $290. So check it out if you want. And last but not least, one of my absolute favorites, favorite houses and fragrances, and this is Taif Elixir from Ormond Jayne. You don't get more classic British than Ormond Jayne. She has done perfume for the royal family. Linda Pilkington is the creative director. I mean, they have basically anybody who's anybody in British society has had perfume made for them by Ormond Jayne. And this one in particular is a flanker from the original Taif series. What they did is they added Cambodian oud to the original Taif and a few other minor changes. I think by doing that, they actually created a flanker that is better than the original. And I almost never say that. I'm always a guy who likes the original the best. I think flankers typically just take something that's great. It's almost like a sequel to a movie, a great movie, right? They're never better than the original. Maybe Godfather 2, that's arguable. But this one, to me, is better than the original. It's dark, it's deep. It's got pink pepper at the top, it's got saffron, it's got orange flower absolute, and then that Cambodian oud, which you smell it right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, that Cambodian oud is just kind of rounding out the fragrance and just enveloping you and making it so delicious. So one of my favorites, and of course, British, 50 milliliter bottle, by the way, here is $280. So well worth it if you want to try a superior oud. And by the way, if you love oud, Cambodian oud is, you know, always considered one of the best in the world. They all have their kind of different variations and different smells. Cambodian oud happens to be one of my personal favorites. So there you have it. JoelTheNose, thank you guys for watching, of course, as always. I've got my ascot on. I think I'm going to wear this the rest of the day. For some reason, women kind of really like this ascot look. I don't know, maybe they think I'm British. I'm going to have to start talking with a British accent now. And, you know, talk about my top 5 British niche houses and fragrances. This is JoelTheNose, and I will be coming back soon with another video. Peace and love.